All right, so let's just jump into this one, move it back to dark mode, and see what we got. We have a set of assignments that say accept any number of string arguments until they have entered ZZZ or have entered 15 strings and display them in ascending order. So we already know that we have a final int max that is going to be equal to 15, and we know we're going to do something while while count is less than max and user entry does not equal 15, or does not equal, so we say does not equal 15. I'm sorry, does not equal ZZZ. So we will say ZZZ here, and then we're going to fix that here. So we're just going to say do. We also need a count value here. So count equals 0. That's going to be an int. So int count equals 0. And then we also need a string user choice. User entry. I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to say OK. Also we need a scanner. We need a scanner for new scanner system.in. All right, cool. So now we're just going to say, okay, so see, do we have any kind of values here? So it just says this. It says, it doesn't give us any kind of prompt we need to say, so we're just going to say print enter a value. For the prompt. Dang it. We're going to show that. And then we're just going to say kb.next. We'll say line just for fun. All right, and then we're going to say, okay, so count is 0. So we also need to declare a new array, right? So we're going to declare a new array that has been set to that max value. So string myArray equals new array equals new, string open and close brackets equals new string max. So that's going to be the max number of values we can add. All right, kb.next line, that's going to be user entry, right? All right, so now we're just going to say that if user entry does not equal, so user entry does not equal to ignore case. We'll do it that way. ZZZ. Okay. User entry does not equal ignore case that, and then we're going to come down here, and we are going to say my array at count equals user entry. Cool. Yeah, and then it's going to exit out of that loop, so they can enter whatever they want to, and then we're just going to say arrays dot sort the values, but we can't sort values that are null. So we're going to have some values in this array that are null. So we are going to, there's two ways of doing this. One is implementing an array list. And really we probably should do an array list so I can show off array list. So let's go ahead and do that. And the second way of doing this is a different way. And let's just go ahead and implement an array list. So we're going to say an array list, my array, equals new array list. Right? And then instead of saying my array dot count equals user entry, we can just say my array dot add user entry. Now we can roll the dice here. Let's go ahead and print this out for right now. For string value in my array system.out.println value. Let's just do a quick test of what we got, and I'm just gonna should have a couple errors because I typed this really fast. I have, let's just go ahead and fix something else. That should be ignore case. Ignore case. Okay. Ooh, I put a parenthesis in front of the while instead of after the while. That's a problem. All right, let's go and run it now. All right, enter a value: pig, dog, cow, cheetah, lamb, I don't know, pizza, and then ZZZ. All right, and then it prints them all out. We're good to go. So now you're wondering, like, okay, so how do we quickly sort this array list? What you'll find out, I'm going to go ahead and type this in. I already have written code, so I'm going to type in arrays.sort, and I'm going to pass in my array. And I'm just going to go and run that, and we're going to see what happens. What it tells us is that we can't pass in an array list into arrays.sort. What we can do is create a basic array. And we can create a basic array of the array list. So what you're going to have here is I can say a string array, right? So a string, my basic array, is going to be equal to my array, a new my basic array, and I'm just going to pass in the value of the size of the array list. So my array dot size, right? So now I've created a basic array with the size of the array list. And I can say for int I equals 0, I is less than my array dot size, I plus plus, and I can come in and I can declare my basic array at I is equal to my array dot get I. All right, and then I can sort my basic array, and I'm just going to make sure this runs without errors. Cannot find a simple for new oh, sorry, that should be string. For new string, there it is. And I'm going to run that, and you're going to find out that this should work without exceptions. And I'm going to say pig and dog and cat and cheetah and YOLO and hamster. Doesn't really matter what we put. Elephant. All right, so ZZZ, and we have that list. All right, still not sorted, and all we need to do now is come here. We're going to take this out, right, because that's the unsorted array, and we are going to sort. We're going to print every value in my basic array. All right, so I'm going to run this, and we should have pig and dog and cat and giraffe and cheetah and elephant and gerbil and hamster and zzz. All right, and it's gonna sort them in alphabetical order. Not checked this yet. I'm gonna run this now, and we're gonna see if it runs checks effectively. I don't see why it wouldn't, but who knows? Didn't think it would take this long. But yeah, so you guys have seen while this runs the implementation of an array list and the implementation of an array, and how I will build an array list and extract that array list into an array. And it's giving me 2 errors right now. Let's see what happens. Accepts no more than 15 values. All right, that's because why? All right, and it's saying that it entered no such inner value, inner value, inner value, inner value. Okay, so something is wrong. Let's go ahead and run this again. I'm going to enter a oh, I know why. It's going to keep running forever because somebody forgot to add count plus plus here. There you go. Count plus plus. All right. Let's run it now. Let's run the checks now. Should be no problem. Yeah. Oh, one more mistake. That, well, it got right, but really the count should have been inside the addition of the array instead of outside. So I needed to really put this in here. I'm going to go and fix that and make sure it still runs checks. That's because I don't want it to increase the count if the array hasn't had a value added to it. Let's go and run checks again. And by the way, there's a bunch of ways to implement these with arrays. I'm showing you guys this one right here because it works pretty well. But I'm gonna go and run checks, and it ran it again, so everything's good. All right, we will stop recording here.